All right, welcome everybody to our presentation. I'm Trevor. I'm going to be your host, and we are going to be talking today specifically about some computer basics and some internet basics. The stuff that we really want you guys to know upon starting the program. And not that you have to be an expert. I want to put that out there just here at the very beginning. You don't have to be a computer expert to do well in our program, not even close. We always say you have to have the courage to invest in the program. You have to set aside some time to work in the program, and you have to be diligent and work hard in the program to make it work. But you don't have to be some sort of computer expert. But with that said, it doesn't hurt to learn some skills that are going to help you be more efficient on the computer. So I've got a whole series of things that I'm going to go through for just a minute to make sure that when you guys do spend your time online, some of you guys that might be, only 5 or 10 hours a week. Others are doing this a little more full time, but no matter how much time you're spending on the computer, it's valuable to be efficient, right? And so hopefully I can teach you a few of those things. Now, the first thing I want to look at is the browser you use. So what I mean by that is when you get onto the internet, usually most computers, when you run the internet, you run it with some kind of a program, right? For those of you guys who are here live, what program do you guys typically use on when you run the internet? Right? Because you fire up your computer, you got to choose something to run the internet. What program is it? I'm seeing a healthy balance of Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, right? Safari. Vince, you say you use Safari? Okay, good. Okay, so let me show you guys something. And this is really, I'm going to make a pretty firm recommendation that you guys all convert over to Chrome. Okay, I made the conversion a number of years ago, and I'm glad that I did because Chrome runs the internet better than anything out there. Let me show you the stats. I think I've showed some of you guys this before, but let me show you the statistics. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this a little bit better. Okay, so in February, latest statistics are for the month of February right here. You guys see that? In February, 62.5% of users use Chrome. Okay, so the vast majority of people that use the internet now are actually on Google Chrome. That's just the truth. If you look next to it, what percentage of people are using Internet Explorer now? 8%, right? Now isn't that odd, because 10 or 15 years ago, wouldn't those numbers have been flipped? Didn't most of you guys at one point or another just use Internet Explorer years ago even? I bet a lot of you guys did. And a lot of you, I saw several of you guys that said, yeah, you still do. But I'm going to advise, for a lot of the stuff we do, I'll advise against it. You can use it, but I'll tell you what, Chrome typically runs videos better. It runs some of the programs we'll be using online together. It runs most websites better. It's more consistent, and there's a reason why 62% of people use Chrome as opposed to only just an 8% use Internet Explorer. And then if you look over here, you've got Firefox, about 23%, Safari, about 4%, and then you've got Opera, 1.5%. A lot of you guys probably haven't even heard of that. But if I scroll down here, you'll see this is for 2014. If you want to look at these numbers right here, the number for Chrome is growing. In January last year of 2014, it was 56% of people used Chrome, and that's slowly been growing, and you can see that every single month it seems like more and more people are using it, which means that a lot of the internet's being more tailored to Chrome, okay? So why that matter? You might say, well, I don't care. I like to be part of the 8% that use Internet Explorer, and that really is fine, but you're going to find that Chrome tends to run things a little bit better. Is that true? For those of you guys who are here live, do you guys feel that's true? For those Chrome users? I guess you guys all converted over to Chrome probably at one point or another, right? Yeah. A lot of you guys are saying, yeah. It is true. It generally works things better. But it's not a bad idea to have a couple different browsers installed. So, like for those of you guys who are on a Mac, Safari is kind of the browser for Apple or for Mac. I use Safari a little bit. I'm on a Mac computer right now, so I use Safari a little bit. But it's not really that popular in comparison to the other ones. Firefox people use a little bit. So if you're ever having trouble running any of our videos, all of our videos are actually they're all uploaded onto YouTube, and we protect them there. They're on YouTube. Sometimes I get my clients that tell me that they struggle to see the videos, like it's not running very well. Well, it's usually either you're running Internet Explorer and it's not running well because of it, or sometimes it's because your internet might be a little slower, and maybe come back a little later to watch them if that's the case for you. But I know that for the most part, they're working well, and if you're on Chrome and you're on a reasonable internet connection, like they should run pretty smoothly for the most part. So a lot of you guys are backing up what I'm saying here. A lot of you guys are commenting saying, yeah, I use Chrome, I trust it, it's worked better, it's more stable. So seriously, that's my recommendation. Now, if you don't have Chrome on your computer, it's really easy to get. Get onto whatever browser you're on. Just go to Google if that's easier. Make sure you're on Google, and then just type in the word Chrome and do a search. This listing right here will take you to where you can download it. Or you just go directly to www.google.com/Chrome to get it downloaded. And then you can download, and then every time you guys jump on the internet, you open it with Chrome, and it should work just fine. Google Chrome, the little icon for it, by the way, looks like, I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like this. So when you get onto your computer, if you want to run Chrome, the icon looks like this. So you'll click on that, and that'll run it for you. Okay? Questions about browsers, guys, for those of you guys who are here right now? Why we use Chrome versus others? Hopefully that's been pretty clear. I'll let you guys type in any questions as we're going here. Now, I'm on Chrome right now. You can see up here at the top it says Chrome. I want to show you guys, first of all, and this might seem kind of basic to some of you guys, but it's worth mentioning for sure. What do we call this bar right here that I'm highlighting in yellow? This whole bar, not necessarily this that I'm highlighting in yellow, but this whole section running across the very top. This giant white bar. Address bar. Okay. Seen some of you guys say, yeah, it's the address bar. That's exactly what it is. So while we're working together, if your coach tells you to go type something in to the address bar, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about this bar at the very top. And then what's this right here? The www. In this case, I'm on w3schools.com. What do we call that? What's in the address bar? It's the URL. Okay? That's a URL or a web address. That's what that is. So if we tell you to go to a certain website, if I say I want you to go to elsmentor.com, what I'm really asking you to do is I want you to come up to your address bar and I want you to type in elsmentor.com and then go. Because the difference between that and the alternative, which would be doing a Google search, I mean, really, if you're going to search for something online, you either put it directly into the address bar or you put it into Google. Now, what's the difference, guys? Like, what's the difference between me typing in ELS Mentor, or even, let's do another example. Let's say eBay. If I type ebay.com into my address bar versus ebay.com into a Google search, what's the difference? I'm going to type ebay.com here into Google as well. Well, the difference is just what we're seeing, right? If I type it into the address bar, I actually go directly to ebay.com. It takes me to the website. I'm there. If I type it into Google, Google searches for it. So that, I mean, there's a fundamental difference between going directly to a website using the address bar versus doing a search for it in a search engine. If you go to ebay.com here, it doesn't take you to ebay.com. It just takes you to a page of Google results where Google's trying to find it for you, right? So it's always more effective. Some of you guys do this. I know because I've worked with some of you guys. I'll tell you to go to ebay.com and you'll type it into your search engine. It might be Google. You might even, maybe sometimes you're typing it into Yahoo. Some of you guys have your default web page set at Yahoo, and so you come here and you type in ebay.com. But again, it doesn't go right to it. It just searches for it. So I want you to get in the habit, just to save yourself even just a little bit of time, type it in this address bar here at the very top, because that will always take you directly to the website you need to go to. Okay? Let me see if you guys have any comments on that. Yeah, anytime. So Rick, anytime I give you a URL, you know, I gave you guys web addresses or URLs, you can copy and paste that and put it up here. Put it up here in your address bar and it'll go directly to it. Okay. So here's another thing that I think is pretty important and really very fundamental to any browser that you use. I'm using Google Chrome, but these sort of principles apply to almost any browser. I love to use this section right here. Do you see where my mouse is, guys? I know it's kind of small, but I'm going to roll my mouse across this section. It's just right underneath the address bar. You're going to see all these little icons listed there. Okay, what are these anyway? What is this section? It's my bookmarks or my favorite section. Okay, that's what those are. And what's great about that is if I need to quickly get somewhere, I just click on one of these as opposed to having to type it in. So I go to YouTube a lot, right? So I've got a little YouTube shortcut right here. All I have to do is click on that button and it just takes me directly to YouTube. It's nice. Or I've got a bookmark here for this website. If I click on this button, I've got a bookmark for internetretailer.com because I spend a lot of time on Internet Retailer. This is kind of like a news site. It teaches me all about what's happening in the world of, making money on the internet or, retailing on the internet. This is where I get a lot of my news. So because I come here and visit often, I click on it and it takes me right there. For you guys, I mean, bookmarks should be something you use all the time. It just speeds up your experience on the internet. How many of you guys would say you use bookmarks right now or favorites? Yeah, a lot of you guys are saying all the time, yeah. And why do you use them? What's the point? Why not just go here and, why don't I just come up here and type it in? Because I could do that. I could go up here and type in internetretailer.com. It's much faster. It saves time, right? When you think about it, if you've got a business on the internet like this, we want you to save time doing all the little things that you've got to do. So, if you've got a set of websites that you visit on a very regular basis, you should try to save them up there in your bookmarks. And on Google Chrome here, which is what we're using, it's really very easy. Let me show you how to do it. Let's take eBay, for example, okay? Since I come here often, it might be wise that I save this in my bookmarks. You can do it a few different ways. You can come up here to Bookmarks, and you can select Bookmark this page right here. I could do that. Or, right over here to the far right, there's this little star. If I click on that star, it adds the bookmark. And then I can tell it what I want the bookmark to be. So I want this to be eBay, and I'll hit done, and it'll save now in my bookmarks. Now, I've got so many that they don't all show up right here. In fact, there's a big list of them right down the side here. So this one that I just saved, this eBay bookmark, is on this giant list all the way down towards the bottom. Okay. And I can manipulate this list a little bit. In fact, I can move. This is one way to do a bookmark. I can click and hold right here, and I can drag it into my bookmark menu. So I can go like this. Whoops. And I can drag it in, and it'll save. So if you want to drag your bookmarks in, you can do that. You can order these how you want. See, I can drag them and sort of move them around, right? Maybe my main ones, my main bookmarks, I like to keep over here on the left-hand side, right? So you can delete a bookmark. If I right-click on top of one of these, I can delete it and get rid of it if I want. So like this eBay one that I've got right here that I just created, I could drag and drop that up here if I want. I'm clicking and holding. I'm just going to drop it right here, and then here's my eBay. Maybe I drag it all the way over to the top left, and there I've got it. Now, so forevermore, if I'm somewhere else, let's say I'm on, the wallstreetjournal.com, and I need to get back to eBay quickly, I just come up here and I click on my eBay bookmark that I created, and it'll send me right back. So does that make sense, guys? Those are bookmarks. That's kind of how that works. You can manage your bookmarks up here. Here's your big list of them in Google Chrome. It's just shortcuts. It's quick ways for you to get online to some of your very favorite places. My question for you guys that are here, what are some of the bookmarks that would make sense to have running this business online? What are some of the bookmarks that you guys have? Yeah, and Jacqueline, you bring up a good point. You say some of the stuff that you've got up here you don't even use anymore, and I can relate. This page right here, let's see. This page right here, I'm not even sure what this is. I'm going to click on it. It's a web page from the Moz blog that I've got here in my bookmarks. I haven't visited this page for a long time. I think I saved it as a bookmark because I meant to come back to it, and I did, and then I just left it there. So if I want to get rid of it, Jacqueline, and just kind of clean up my bookmarks, I can right-click on top of it, and then I can hit delete, and that pulls it out just like that. It's gone. So it gets rid of it. And I can do that over here with this one that I don't need. I can right-click and hit delete, and it's gone, just like that. So you can order things how you want. I just think it makes a lot of sense. If you're going to be online as much as you are, and you're switching back and forth between places, I think it makes sense to use bookmarks if you can. Yeah, a lot of you guys have eBay as a bookmark, PayPal as a bookmark, our website, the ELS Mentor site. Maybe you've got YouTube as a bookmark, right? Our site that you guys use probably quite a bit of, elsmentor.com. Rather than having to go and type that in every time, why not just come over here and save it as a bookmark? So either click on this star or come up here and hit bookmark this page, which is what I'll do this time. And then I can name it. So I'm going to name it, coaching or, business coaching or whatever it is, and I'll save it. And it ends up in my bookmarks. Now again, remember, I've got so many you can't see it. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to find it in this big list, and I'll just drag and drop it right up here so I've got it. And then I can remember it. Whoops, I don't think it's saved there. Let me try that one more time. Drag and drop it right here. There we go. See? And there's your bookmark. Then I can quickly get to these webinars without having to remember what the web address is. Or sometimes, a lot of times I'll send it out as a link, or our company will send it out as a link, and then you can find it really easily that way. So anyway. Yeah, that's a good point, Linda. So Linda brings up the fact that my heading looks just a little bit different. See, a lot of you guys are either on a Windows computer, like a normal Windows PC. I'm on an Apple computer. So my operating system is a little bit different. My screen might look a little bit different. The internet won't be any different. So Google Chrome will be the same, but the interface is just a touch different. So keep that in mind too. If you're on a normal PC using Windows, all of these same principles apply. You'll just download Chrome just like we did, and Chrome should work very, very similarly. When you delete the bookmark, yeah, it does, Bill. So Bill's asking me if I delete this from my toolbar up here, if it deletes it from my bookmark list. It does in this case. But you can have different bookmark lists, and I'm not going to go into any more detail on this right now, but you can actually create folders in your bookmarks and really organize your bookmarks well. In fact, I think if you, if you right-click on top of your bookmarks, you can do Add Folder. And I could organize these. I'll even show you. I'll hit Add Folder here, and I'll call this, Internet Business, maybe. Internet Business. And I created my folder, and of course for me it went to the bottom of my list down here. So let me find it. Right here. So here's the folder. I'm going to drag it up here. There's my Internet Business folder, and now I can actually put things in my folder. I just drag and drop it on top of it. See that? Drag and drop. Now, when I click on Internet Business, it gives me my bookmarks a little more organized. Drag and drop on top of it, just like that. Okay? See, it organizes it. So you could have like a Internet Business folder. You could have maybe an eBay folder, a personal folder, whatever. You can organize those bookmarks however you want, but it definitely makes it easier to keep things organized when you're using it. And I mean, look at my bookmarks, right? Like you look at all of these right now. Don't you think I should organize this so I can find what I need easier? I think so, right? And I should. I just haven't taken the time to do this on this specific computer, but it would make it much easier. So hopefully that helps you guys understand bookmarks a little bit better. Now let me show you something else. If I open up the internet, right? If I start up, in fact, I'm just going to do that real quick. Let me start up. This is my desktop here, and right down here at the bottom of my desktop, here's Google Chrome. So I'm going to click on Chrome, and it'll load up the internet, right? So here it is. Here's the internet that just loaded up. And a lot of my clients will, when they're on eBay trying to list something, they'll have their eBay window up. But if they need something from somewhere else, they have to leave eBay and they type in a different address and they go over here to PayPal because they needed to grab some information from PayPal. And so they leave eBay. And then when they're ready to go back to eBay, once they've done whatever they need to do on this other site, then they say, okay, well, I need to run over to Walmart.com for something. So they put it in there. When you're working online, if you're going to be using the same website a lot, keep it up here in one of your tabs. How many of you guys actually use tabs when you're on the internet? You guys know what I'm talking about when I say tabs? What's a tab, guys? What am I talking about here? It's a function that's been around. It's a function that's not just in Chrome. It's in other browsers as well. Yeah, you can use different windows at the same time. So let's say, for example, you're using eBay. So let's go to eBay. We're going to use my bookmark here, and I'm going to click on it. And I'm trying to sell an item on eBay. So I'm going to go to sell, and I'm going to kind of take you through what it would be like. So I'm listing something for sale here. I'm going to list a pearl necklace for sale. But a lot of this information I need to list this pearl necklace is probably coming from another website. We'll say I'm getting this pearl necklace from my supplier over here at Walmart. So I want to be able to sort of go back and forth from Walmart and to eBay really quickly. Well, that's where you use tabs, okay? This is a tab right here. So I can go to File up here at the top and hit New Tab. If I do that, I get this new tab up here at the top. They look like little file tabs. See how I can click back and forth? So I can click to my eBay tab and then I can click to my new one. Well, my new tab's on Google. I'm going to go to Walmart.com. Okay, now that brings up Walmart where my supplier is. And maybe at the same time, I need to, I really want to have up the coaching website because I'm watching a tutorial at the same time. So I'm gonna do a new tab, but this time instead of selecting new tab up here under File, I'm gonna do a function that works. It's Control or Command T on my keyboard. I know you can't see this, but if I do Command T or Control T, it opens up a new tab automatically from my keyboard. And so now I can go here to, elsmentor.com. So I've got all three of these up, and so I can click back and forth and change windows really fast. You see how I'm doing that? How many of you guys do this? How many of you guys use tabs the way I'm using them right now? Yeah, most of you guys are saying yeah. Now what's interesting about this is if I need to create a separate window altogether, and by the way, the hotkey for most of you guys should be, you'll see it under your file. So File, New Tab, it shows the shortcut on your keyboard to do it. I do Command T. If you're on a PC, it's probably Control T. You hold down the Control button and you hit the T and it opens up a new tab really quickly. And that just saves some time, right? Rather than going File, New Tab, I can just hit Control T. See, I can open up as many tabs in a row as I want. And I know that seems silly. It's like, well, that doesn't really save you that much time. Well, it saves me 2 seconds every time I need to open up a tab, and you do enough things like this where it's saving you that kind of time, and it helps you out a lot. You get more efficient online for sure. Okay, so those are tabs. So anyway, when you guys get into listing products using the retail strategy or listing products using drop shippers and stuff, this actually saves you just a tremendous amount of time. So if your coach ever says, hey, open up a new tab and go to whatever website.com so that you don't lose your place, open up a new tab and then you can click back to where you were before. It's really, really nice. Okay, good. So those are tabs. Let me know if you guys have questions about that here as we go. And Patrice, to answer your question, no, these tabs are really where you have, this is all happening within Google Chrome. All of it's happening within Google Chrome. Now I could open up another, I have Safari on this computer, so I could open up Safari. If I click on Safari, it'll open up a brand new window, right? A brand new internet window just popped up. And I've got Safari here. And you can do tabs on Safari too, but I prefer to just do everything on Chrome because it's a little bit easier that way. Okay? All right, so I know this may seem very elementary to some of you guys, but every once in a while when you're online, you need to copy and paste something, right? And honestly, some of my clients come in and they're like, Trevor, I'm not great with that. I just haven't spent enough time on the computer. Let me just show you kind of how I do copy and paste. It really is a piece of cake. If I need to copy something, I'll show you usually what I do. So let's say I'm loading a product onto eBay right now, okay? I'm just going to grab something at random. I'll go to a laptops page. I'll just open up a random product here real quick. Okay, let's say I'm trying to copy and paste this, this title right here. I want to copy and paste that somewhere. Best way to do it is just left click before the first letter and then just left click and hold so it creates this effect here where it's highlighting the text. Once you've got all the text that you want highlighted, you just unclick and then you can move your mouse around, right? Now at this stage, guys, what do you do to copy it? Once you've got it highlighted like this, what's the next step if you want to copy this text? Some of you guys are saying you right click and you copy. Other you guys use a shortcut on the keyboard. Okay, right click I just right-clicked on top of my selection, and I can select copy right there, right? And if I select that, it's copied. Nothing magical happens. It just says that it's copied. Now, if I want to paste it somewhere, if I want to paste this up in the search bar right here, if I right-click again, I can select paste, and that pastes in what I just copied, right? But I think it's a little cumbersome. I think it's easier for you guys that are using the shortcut on your computer. I think this is 1,000 times faster. If you highlight the text, rather than right-clicking, hitting copy, and then coming to where you need to paste it and right-clicking again and selecting paste, I would argue it's much quicker to highlight, hit Control-C, which copies it, that's on your keyboard, Control-C or Command-C, and then put your mouse where you need to paste it and hit Control-V or Command-V. That's the shortcut on your keyboard. It quickly copies it for you. So you can see there, when I highlighted it, I didn't have to right-click and select. All I did is when it's highlighted, I hit Control-C. Where I need to paste it, I hit Control-V, and it pastes it for me, right? That's much faster. Now, you might be accustomed to, highlighting and then right-clicking and copying, but I can tell you for sure it's much quicker if you just use the little shortcut on your keyboard. Use the Control-C and the Control-V. V is in Victor, I mean. So Control-C is in cat, Control-V is in Victor. That'll copy and paste a little more quickly. Now, the other function I like, I don't know if you guys use this very often. I use it all the time because I'm prone to make mistakes, maybe more than I should, right? I use the command Control-Z, like Z is in zebra. For those of you guys who know a little bit more about this kind of stuff, what does Control-Z do on your keyboard? Yeah, does anybody use that at all? I mean, if not, that's fine. Control-Z is in zebra. Yeah, most of you guys are saying no. Oh, this will be a really good tip for you guys then, because I use it all the time. So what if you do something, and this could be anything. If you copied something like I just did here, and you're like, oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. And then you're like, okay, well, I got to highlight all of this and I got to delete it, right? So I'm here trying to highlight and delete all of this. Well, I'll tell you what's easier. Rather than doing that, let me put it back here. If you hit Control-Z, it automatically undoes what you just did, right? So like if I have something pasted there like this, if I hit Control-Z, it just takes it away. It undoes my mistake. Now Sam just admitted that he doesn't make mistakes. So Sam, that's why you never use it, right, Sam? You don't ever make a mistake, so you don't need this. I make enough mistakes to make up for myself and Sam. So I use this all the time. Even if you're typing something, type in my name and I realize I didn't want to put it there. If you hit Control-Z, it takes it away. Okay? It's a good function anytime you're on your website. A lot of you guys are working on your websites right now. If you type something in or you pasted in a description that wasn't right, you hit Control-Z, boom, it's gone just like that. So it's the undo feature. It undoes what you just did. It's used all the time. I use it lots, too much, because I make mistakes. Control-Z, that'll speed you up a little bit. Okay, so those are just some keyboard commands that might be valuable. Like I did with the Control-T, that opened up a new tab for me, right? Like you learn some of these little shortcuts, and your experience online gets much, much more efficient. Okay, so one other thing that's worth just mentioning real quickly is a lot of you guys are familiar with this place right here, google.com/images. We use it a lot. We talk about it a lot as we're in the program. And in Google Images, a lot of times we'll be looking for something. So I'm going to look for, a Google Chrome icon, we'll say. and it brings up all of these pictures here. All of these pictures are the same size seemingly, but are they really the same size? They're not. If I roll my mouse over each one of these images, it shows often a different size in pixels. This one is 2000 by 2000, whereas this one is 256 by 256. Whereas this one is 256 by 256. You can see the sizes below. This one's 378 by 368. Now to us right here on this screen, they all look exactly the same size, but they're not, because if I click on one of them, it'll upload to its greater size. And if I right click on top of it and save it, it'll save it at that size. If you make the mistake to right click and save on one of these smaller ones right here, it saves it as the smaller size. So I bring this up because some of my clients have told me as they're trying to save images for eBay, the rule is on eBay you need bigger or equal to 500 pixels on one of the size, and they'll find an image that fits that criteria, like none of these would because they're 256, but this one right here is 2000. They'll right click and they'll save this image. And if you save this image, what happens, guys? What happens if I save this one right here that says it's 2000 by 2000? Yeah, I get the smaller one. Like the one that we're looking at right here is not 2000 by 2000 at all. This is a small image, but if I click on it and I get the larger size, that gives me the bigger picture, and if I right click on it, that's the size I'm going to get. So I know that may seem obvious to some of you guys, but that mistake is made a lot when using Google Images, okay? Now if I were to save this real quick, I'm going to save this one to my computer. I hit Save As there, and it gives me the option to save it somewhere on my computer. Where do you guys typically save your pictures? Do you have a spot on your computer you save a lot of your pictures? Why do you guys put it on your desktop? See, that's what it defaults to right here. You see on the left. Now this is where my screen is going to look a little different from yours because I'm on an Apple computer. If you're on a Windows computer, it might show up a little bit differently, but whenever you save something, you have the option to save it to a certain place on your computer. You could save it to your desktop. You could save it to your documents. You could save it to your downloads, right? You just need to make sure you remember where you save it. That way, when you need to find it later, you know just where to find it. It's just not lost somewhere there in your computer, okay? And a lot of times, if it doesn't give you the option, on some people's computers, I've noticed when they go to an image and they right-click and they hit Save Image As, it doesn't give them an option. It saves it automatically to their downloads section. So if it doesn't give you an option, it's probably saving it to your downloads folder, and that's where you can find it later if you need it. Okay, that's images. Pretty simple. I just wanted to kind of run through a couple of the basics of using them and saving pictures. Now, one other thing I think I'll mention to you guys before we finish up that I think is extremely valuable while you're working in the program with a lot of the other coaches is I think it's valuable to use this program right here. How many of you guys with your coach or with me have used Join Me, the program joinme.com? Oops, I don't know why it's not coming up. You can either get there by going to joinme.com or join.me. Either way works. It's the same place, join.me or joinme.com. Yeah, anybody used it? A lot of you guys are saying, no, not really, haven't used it much. Join Me is a way you can connect computers together so that one person can see the other person's screen. Now, a lot of you guys who I work with, we've done it once or twice. We may have done it on our first meeting. Sometimes we do it on other meetings. You'll find that I think one of the challenges of working with us remotely, you're in your home office and we're here in our office, is the fact that we're not right next to each other working, right? We're seeing different screens. And I've felt that way sometimes while I've worked with clients. You'll be telling me, Trevor, I see it this way on my screen, but I can't replicate it. I can't see the same thing. And so sometimes it's hard for us to communicate. So I always recommend to my clients, if you ever need to share something you're seeing on your screen because you want to show me something, or you're trying to add a product into eBay and it's doing something funny and you can't figure out why, and you explain it to your coach and they're not sure either. If you use this program right here, you can cast your screen to others so they can see what you're doing. It's just like what we're doing today. You guys can see what's going on my screen, and it's easy for you guys to follow along. I mean, imagine having a webinar like this where I'm just trying to explain to you without you seeing me do it. I mean, it would be impossible, right? It would handicap our learning experience. So I recommend this to you guys. It doesn't cost anything. You can download Join Me to your computer really easily. You get here and you get to this homepage, join.me or joinme.com. It'll look like this. And you just click this button called Start Meeting, and it'll actually download a little program to your computer. And then whenever you need to share your screen, you load up the program, and it gives you a 9-digit code, like a 9-digit number, okay? I'll just show you what this is like. I've got this downloaded to my computer, so I'm going to click Join Me. You can kind of see down here, I've got this little icon installed. I've already downloaded the program. And I get this little window that shows up right here that I've got, okay? If I hit Start right here, what it does is it automatically creates this little web address, join.me/336-855-507. Every time I start a new Join Me, it'll create a different number. Well, if you create this, if you do this on your end and you can share with me this number, I can plug it in on my end right here into this Join Meeting section, and I can come in and see what you're doing on your screen. And it's really valuable, right? In fact, I did this with one of my clients just the other night. We were having a really hard time resolving an issue because eBay was giving this client a really odd error that I'd never seen before. And as she was explaining it to me, I was like, I have no idea. I'd never heard of that before. Well, we got this started. She downloaded her Join Me and shared her screen with me, and I was able to get on, and I looked and I found out what it was. But I never would have been able to figure it out had she not been able to share her screen with me. So the cool thing is, guys, this doesn't cost you anything. You can download Join Me to your computer and use it, and in your coaching, you can use it if you need to show your coach something that you guys aren't communicating very well on. You just have to download it. Once you start it up, you get this number, you give it to your coach. They'll know exactly what to do with it. Okay? That's screen sharing. Have any of you guys ever used it before, like on your end, where you share your screen with somebody else? Maybe it wasn't Join Me. Maybe it was a different program. Have you used it before? I'm just curious for those of you guys who are here live. Yeah, some of you guys are saying yes. There's different programs that run it. Some cost money, but this one's free, which is why I kind of recommend it to my clients. So if you're ever working with me, if I'm mentoring you and we can't figure something out, I may have you do this for me, and vice versa. I'll send you a link to my screen like we're doing right now, so you can see what's going on. I think it'll really enhance your learning and the training overall. And if you're working with another coach, you can do the same thing with them. It works out really, really well. Okay, so guys, I think we've done plenty today, and we're way over time on the webinar, so I'm going to finish up. Let me turn off the recording. For those of you guys who are watching this recorded, I hope it was helpful for you to at least see some of the the basic functions of copy and paste and downloading images and using browsers, and the fact that you should be using Google Chrome. These are all things we want you to be able to do just to enhance your experience as you're working with us online.